Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Shows World.
Welcome to Shows World Gamers, Josh here, and as this week draws to a close, I wanted to take a moment to look at this week's biggest news stories, a few of this week's gaming announcements, and this week's new video game releases. But if this is your first time on the channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the fun. Alright gamers, let's kick off this week in review with this week's news stories. Now, Sony had a special showcase this week where they finally announced the long-anticipated PlayStation 5 Pro. And it looks awesome. The console does improve on the current PlayStation 5 in a few key areas and will be available later this year on November 7th. Unfortunately, this is a digital-only console and it is priced at a whopping $699.99. And you can get the disk drive to add to it, but that's adding another $80 to that $700 price tag, which is crazy. Now, does it look better than the current PlayStation 5? Yes, but is it going to be super noticeable when you're actually playing the game? Personally, having no disk drive and a $200 jump in price from the regular PlayStation 5, I'm pretty disappointed in this announcement. Now, Halloween has become huge business for theme parks, as has video game IP. Super Nintendo World has been a massive hit for Universal Studios, and during their Halloween Horror Nights last year, they had a very popular The Last of Us maze. This year, though, the US Universal Parks, well, they definitely dropped the ball, as Universal Studios Japan has an awesome Resident Evil experience with fan-favorite characters, zombies, and even Nemesis. Hopefully the show is expanded to the US for next year's Halloween Horror Nights. Now, Nintendo recently updated their policies on how creators can use game footage in content creation. And this week, well, they exercised a new policy as they had a lot of videos removed that had certain content from the recently released Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club games. If a video contains end or post-game content, it was removed with the explanation being to block spoilers. Unfortunately, this did include part 12 of our playthrough, including the final chapter, ending, and epilogue. Alright gamers, next up, let's take a look at some gaming announcements. Now, in a surprising announcement this week, we got a trailer revealing the return of Flappy Birds. The simple mobile game where you just try to survive as long as possible flying through obstacles took the world by storm, until one day, it just suddenly disappeared. Although there is a popular giant arcade version that you can find pretty much anywhere that has an arcade. Well, the game is coming back to its original home on mobile with an all-new updated version of the game. No release date was given, but I'm probably going to play this when it comes out. It's probably going to be free to play, and the game's a lot of fun. Now, Carmen San Diego received an announcement trailer this week. The game is an all-new single-player puzzle adventure game that has you taking on the role of the title character Carmen San Diego, the globe-trotting adventurer from the 80s and 90s edutainment franchise. The game is coming to Netflix in early 2025 and will release soon after on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation consoles, PC, and Xbox systems. Now, 8-Bit Adventures 2 received a console release date trailer this week, announcing that the game is releasing in just a few weeks on October 16th for the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems, joining the PC version that released earlier this year. The game is a retro turn-based style RPG with NES-style pixel graphics. Now, Space Adventure Cobra The Awakening had a reveal trailer drop this week, along with a 2025 release window for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox Series systems. The game is based on the manga series from the 80s and will have you playing as Cobra, a fearless adventurer with a cybernetic left arm housing the legendary Delta Ray. The action-adventure game has you on a mission to get to the bottom of a mysterious threat hanging over the entire universe. Alright gamers, let's finish up with this week's new video game releases. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection released digitally this week on the Nintendo Switch, PC, as well as on PlayStation systems. Now, the physical version is coming out on November 22nd, and there is an Xbox version planned for 2025. The game is a collection of 6 fighting games, including X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and the amazing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And they actually included the beat-em-up game Punisher in the collection also. Now, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is a third-person shooter hack-and-slash video game developed by Saber Interactive. The game released this week on the PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox Series systems. You will embody the superhuman skill and brutality of a Space Marine and defend the Imperium with a huge arsenal and over-the-top action. Now, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop released this week on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation systems, PC, and Xbox Series systems. The game is a remake of the 2012 Lollipop Chainsaw game where you play as Juliet Starling, a cheerleader who uses her chainsaw to hunt zombies while balancing high school drama in an over-the-top action game loaded with blood, gore, intense violence, strong language, and more. Now, Funko Fusion is a third-person action-adventure game where you get to play as some of your favorite characters in familiar locales from a wide range of pop culture fandom, from gaming, TV, movies, and more. The game is available right now on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems. Now, Yars Rising is a 2D action-adventure game coming from WayForward and does have that kind of anime art style that they're pretty known for at this point. The game is an all-new game showing homage to the classic Atari 2600 game, Yars Revenge, which was a personal favorite of mine on the classic console. Yars Rising is available now on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems. Alright gamers, that concludes this week in review for the week ending on September 13th. The week started with Astrobot releasing on the PlayStation 5 to critical acclaim as one of the best rated games of the year so far, plunging it into early discussion as a Game of the Year contender. Then, we finally got the announcement of the long-rumored PlayStation 5 Pro, and the week ended with head of Sonic team shooting down the idea that we are going to see a third Sonic Adventure game anytime soon, as they have no plans for it at this time. But let me know anything we may have missed in the comments, and thanks for joining us today, gamers. Doge World, out.